And then as time went on, I was making music that I loved even more, but I was posting less because the creative process took so much time. And I didn't know how, like, I was scared of the judgment. And to some extent, I'm still like terrified of that shit. Cause like, you
Oh,
know what I mean? Like, I love making music and I will do it till the day I die, but I want people to hear it.
Today on Loves Music, I speak to Victoria Addy. Victoria is a young lady from New York who's blending sounds of R&B, pop, rock, hip hop to make some of the coolest music I've heard in a while. Her new single, Wandering, is blowing up all over the place, and she's here today to talk to us on Loves Music. Up next, Victoria. I became a fan. It took me a couple songs. I went from like, wow, this is really interesting to like full-fledged fan in like 3 or 4 songs. Your stuff is just so interesting. There's such a soulfulness to it and vulnerability. I really like your stuff a lot. I mean, you're pushing the new single, I'm Wondering. Is that correct?
That's my whole vibe. I'm super, super into trying new stuff, being vulnerable, and like doing everything because I don't see, like why not?
Did you produce that yourself? Or you getting like beats from like online anywhere? Like, tell me about like your creative process.
Got you. So every song is different. For Wondering, that's all me. I wrote it when I was 16. So like I was, new to the industry, doing new stuff like that. And I think I just, it was like 1 a.m. I couldn't go to sleep. So I think I just got on Logic and messed around, made it, and then had it sitting in the vault for a couple years.
You think at this point in my life, I think I've heard everything. And then I get on with an artist like you, and I'm like, I mean, she's doing something I haven't heard before in like every song, right? I'm trying to explain. I'm like, we had this interview in the books. I'm trying to explain to my friends, like, oh, I have an interview with this artist and what kind of music it is. And I'm trying to explain it, and I can't. Like, I'm watching the birth of this artist, and like, this is somebody who knows exactly who they are, what they're trying to do, and I don't know what it is yet. It's just cool. It's just cool stuff.
No, that makes sense. And I appreciate it. The fact that you can't like explain it is exactly what my goal is. Like, I hate being in a box. Like, as a music artist, I strive to do everything because I know I can. Like, I strive to combine all my knowledge together and just make some really cool stuff like that. That's my vibe.
There's you listen to it, there's songs like How I Do, Pocket Full. They have like almost like a rock element, and then you have other tunes with like a traditional R&B element. The song "Let Me Go" is almost like kind of like an atmospheric like R&B tune, and I'm like, who are you taking your cues from? Like rock music, hip hop music? Like, tell me about your early influences with music.
So earlier, my family was like really big on music. We listened to so many genres. They brought me up in such a good environment where I was exposed to every single genre ever, from like 90s hip hop, like psychedelic, house music. Any genre you can think of, I can guarantee you it was being played in my house, in my car, everywhere. And so like over time, I grew to love like music and everything that comes with it. And so what I make now is just like a combination of so many different techniques and genres that, again, like you said, like it's hard to pinpoint because I literally don't allow myself to only make one genre because there's so much out there.
And I think what's cool about it too is that creativity bleeds into your visual aesthetic as well. Like when you go on your Instagram and even like the videos you make, I'm like, oh, I don't see stuff that looks like this. Then you hear the music and you're like, I don't hear stuff that sounds like this. And so now there's this complete package of an artist, and I'm like, and it's like magnetic. I'm like, all I want to do is learn more. All I want to do is hear more. I was like, when's she touring? When's she going to be in Philly? Like I have to see more, So whatever you're doing, please don't stop. But it's really cool to see your evolution. And you're so young too. Drives me crazy. You're so ahead of the curve too. One of the things I hate is when older artists almost kind of looked at, you see them more in like hip hop, like the older guys look down on the younger guys because of what they're doing. Your music is so rich in depth. You know what I mean? Like it sounds like you've already lived like 3 lifetimes, like in your music already. What are some of the extrinsic factors that shaped who you are that are kind of informing your music now?
Honestly, life. Like music is my creative outlet when I'm unable to kind of speak for myself in any situation. If, maybe I had a bad day at work, maybe I, had some trouble in like a class or something in school. In addition to me talking about it and being open about it, like music is my way to be like, this is who I am, this is my truth, and I'm sharing that. And I don't regret a thing. It's just my way of like speaking to me, it is the exact same as me, having a conversation with someone.
With you operating in so many different facets of like the music creation process, what would you say gives you the biggest challenge or the biggest headache?
I think in this current day and age, there's this, I don't even know how to say this, like artists have to be in the beginning, especially like their own managers. They have to make their artworks, their like cover works. If they're working with a distribution, team like DistroKid, I use Distro, you have to set that up. You gotta, do that all yourself. And sometimes it takes away from the creative process because I'm thinking too far ahead. Like, oh, I have to plan this release out on this day because, okay, for example, a lot of big artists tend to release music on Fridays because that's when like playlisting is the most easiest. You like get on New Music Friday, et cetera, et cetera. Um, I have to do every single part, and so sometimes I do get lost in like the planning, even though honestly, I like it matters, but like it really doesn't because at the end of the day, the music should speak for itself because that is the most important aspect.
It's hard to draw that line between like music and business, right? Because the minute you decide to be a professional, there's all the things that come with being a professional. You got to make the thing, you got to tell people about the thing, you got to sell the thing, you got to deliver the thing, right? Only one of those things is creative. Everything else is just business, accounting, numbers, all the stuff that the other side of our brain doesn't like to do. Um, so that's where you find like the most difficulty is just kind of like the managerial aspect of music.
Definitely, and it's a lot. Like staying up because I tend to work at night because everyone's asleep. It's quiet. It's intimate for me. Like it's me, myself, and I, my computer, my headphones. Like I literally work in the dark. Everyone's always like, Victoria, why are you always in the dark? That is how I'm able to kind of come across and translate myself onto like a screen, like into a song. I have to be alone with myself. And so I
Mhm.
find that, if I'm doing that and staying up late, it's hard for me to get up and like do those managerial stuff because I know I have to, but it's like it's just a long process. But
Let's say we were having this conversation at the end of the year. What would a successful year look like for you? It's Memorial Weekend, New Year's Eve. I call you and I say, "Hey, Victoria, how are we doing?" What would be the ideal response? Like, what would you want to have happen? It's only 6 months from now, so realistically,
right,
what would you like to have happen?
sometimes it's hard for me to show myself in like a vulnerable state and put myself out there when it comes to music promotion. Like I know, trust me, like I hate to be cocky. I mean, sometimes I love it, but like I know my music is good and I know the potential that I have. But with that like promotion aspect, like I have to post videos, I have to, engage with an audience, which is great, but it becomes a lot. And like it's hard for me to put myself out there at times. I think at the end of the year, I will know if I'm successful if I'm like, I did something every single day to ensure that a new person heard my song or heard my songs or looked up my name or went to my Spotify page. Like that is my goal to just have more people listen because I really do have some really cool shit to say. So
Yeah, I agree.
thank you.
So all of us, if you've done music for any extended period of time, we have people in our lives that are super talented, but not really getting any exposure. What do you think is the hardest thing for art? Like we all have like that person, and I'm like, the music is so dope, and they have like 7 songs on Spotify. They barely do shows, and they're just not moving forward. What do you think is blocking those people that just like can't move forward?
I think you said it right there. Consistency, like what I've learned from the past year, like my self, like reflective era, if in anything, in any industry, but especially in the arts industry, if you want to be successful, you have to show up because it will get hard. Like that is a given. Like you have to keep going and be consistent and put yourself out there. Even if you're like bawling your eyes out, you will go on that stage and sing that song because you know what it means to you at the end of the day.
Right.
So,
Yeah, I see that too. And I think people, I guess, like you feel awful and you'll be like, oh, I'll always feel like this. This will always be hard. So they take that as the cue to instead of kind of getting on the other side of it, or just kind of going through it, they're like, oh, I'm going to always feel like this whenever I go to book at this venue. So, all right, I just won't go there. Like, I feel like they transfer that discomfort over eternity instead of realizing that it's just a season.
100%. Actually, my girlfriend just got me this book called Untethered Soul, and it's about the separation of like yourself from your thoughts. And I recommend this book. I just started it, but like I'm like a plug for it already. I
Yeah.
recommend this book to literally every artist ever. Because
Mm.
it's so hard, especially in like a world where you're always comparing yourself to other people and their art and their timelines. And it's hard for you to find your footing because you're always worried about, how people are perceiving you. Thoughts are just thoughts, right? And actions are just actions. At the end of the day, the world will go on and time will always go on. So it's like, what can I do in this moment to ensure that my goal in my head, my dream comes true? So that's like
Yeah.
how I, think about that.
Now, when you're in that dark place, I guess this is a two-part question. What are some of the falsehoods or negative thoughts that are kind of infiltrating your mind? And then in counter to that, what do you tell yourself to pull yourself out of that darkness?
The biggest thing that I'm struggling with and like trying, like learning at the moment to kind of overcome is that comparison aspect. There's so many talented people in my lives, artists, like, just people from like every industry but when it comes to like music and art, I do know a lot of musicians and they're very successful. And I often find myself like comparing myself to them and what they're doing. I think I have to remember that I have like a goal, like I have a mission, and there's so much I want to say. And so it'd be a shame if I let my negative thoughts get to me and my creativity because I know what I'm capable of. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know there's so much stuff I haven't done yet, and the world isn't ready. Like, I know it, but I'm so pumped to just like do some crazy. Like, when I tell you, dude, I don't know. There's just a lot I have to offer, and so that's what keeps me going
Yeah,
because
you do. Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm so interested to see it, and like selfishly, like you can put out your music in whatever format you want, but selfishly as a fan, I'm like, all right, I need like the full length LP, 10, 11 songs, all like with some degree of like cohesion. Like I just can't wait to see what like that fully fleshed out project looks like from you. But I mean, you release at your own pace, but that's what I'd love to see, as a fan. But you do what you want, by all means. Are you performing at all or?
I've performed like a couple times in the past, in like Brooklyn here and there. I do so far, but I think, and this is like one of those things where I was telling you before about like thoughts holding you back. In my head, I have this idea that I can't perform unless I have, like that full project out and I have those songs that I love that I'm ready to perform. But it's like I should be doing more and I should be performing more because I think that's how people can
Mhm.
hear my stuff. That is like the
Mm.
one of the most important ways that people will learn about me is if I go out and sing a little. So
So, of all the things you do well, right? What is maybe one skill that you would like to maybe refine or get a little bit better at?
honestly, I think my production could be a lot better. I do what I love to do and I make what I want and what I hear in my head. But when it comes to industry standard and like long-term success, it's one of those things that I go back and forth about because again, like I said, I know what I want in a song and I know how long I want my song to be, for example. But it's like the people at the heads, the major execs and stuff, they're like, no, like you have to have an intro, a verse, a chord, like whatever. Um, and so yes, I want to explore that. But I think once I reach that level of like no one questioning me and my decisions, I will continue to do whatever I want to do when it comes to music.
I'm not sure. I mean, I guess there's I guess there is an industry standard, but I feel like the music that breaks through now, at least a good portion of it, is like
Hmm.
experimental music that happens to be accessible, right? People just
Yeah.
doing things that are like interesting and cutting edge, and then something just like hooks you. And then you have these songs that are kind of weird, but they're mainstream songs, you know? Um, like look at I always use this as an example. Like Kendrick's like first big single. It was like the swimming pool song. Why are you politicking with these 2 or 3 shots? I'm gonna show you how to turn it up a notch. You take a swimming pool. Like if you would have said that in front of a music exec, they'd be like, dude, it's like a verse, chorus, it's like a whole, it's not catchy. What are you even? Lo and behold, that was Kendrick's first big song. And when it came out, I stopped listening to it. But it wasn't a traditional song. It was an experimental song that just happened to be accessible. And there's a bunch of examples like that. I mean, yeah. There's an industry standard, but I don't know, man. I mean, as a music fan, I like interesting, weird stuff. But you know, but I'm also not a casual fan. I guess you're trying to rope in casuals. It has to be more accessible. Well, now I was reading this quote. It says that the minute you decide to be like, okay, I want to be a professional, right? They're like we were talking about that business aspect of it. And you said this earlier. I make what I like, which is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to make music that you think is dope, and then the people that rock with you become like your first core fans. Like that's like the model. And I was reading this quote and it said, look, if you're going to ask the public to subsidize your lifestyle with money, you are in service to the audience. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like you owe it to your audience to make music they like or to make the music you like and the right people rock with you?
You know what? Like both in like a selfish way though. And actually not even a selfish way because I think all music artists, or most in the beginning, when they have a goal of making music in mind, it is what they like. I think when you bring in like that capitalistic kind of idea when it comes to profit and people like artists that are signed to labels, in some way they are limited in terms of what they are allowed to make and put out. And I feel like my goal, and this is to everyone watching this who is a fan of me or who will be a fan of me, like, I need you to accept the fact that I am changing and therefore my music will change. And if you ride with me, you ride with me. And if all of a sudden you feel like you don't, like what I'm doing, that's okay because music is subjective. It's different for every person how they take it and interpret it. But it's like, as long as people understand that I am changing and I will do what continues to make me happy, that is the biggest thing.
It's not so much about the song that comes out today as much as like people following your like trajectory. Like I think people
Mhm.
want to be a part of a story, not just like a one-off song. Like they want to be
Right.
a part of like, okay, like think about it like a brand is like a bouquet, right? And only one of the flowers is your music, and one of them is your Instagram, and one of them might be a Substack you have, and one of them might be your pictures, and that whole bouquet is you. And people buy into the bouquet, not just the one song. I feel like. Do you agree with that analogy?
It depends because I know, like, for me, there's artists that I don't really like listen to on a daily, but they have like one song that's like insane to me, and I won't
Yeah.
follow their path. Like, I'm not, super into their fan base, but it's like I take each song as an individual. I mean, if we're using your like analogy, each song is
Yeah.
its own flower. And like, yes,
Okay.
it makes them as a whole, but I will only buy that one flower, not the bouquet. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess I'm more referring to like the diehard fans, the people that'll spend $100 a year to come see you like in a concert. Like the people that really like. I mean, obviously there's hundreds of songs. You can't be that emotionally invested in 70 artists. But like the five or six that like I see if for like $100, $200 a ticket, like those are the ones that you kind of like buy into their whole story. Well, especially now in today's day and age, it's more popular to just kind of put out like these like one-off singles and stuff too. So you can kind of like latch onto a fan base with like one huge song.
Yeah, I'm like that's my goal at the moment. I'm trying to just put out singles, like figure out what my kind of, what I really love. Because I feel like, again, going back to what we said before, there was a point in my sound in my like music career where I was making music that I thought people wanted to hear and not regarding what I wanted to. And so I think I keep on putting singles out. Um, Maybe I get a really big single, maybe put out a project, but it's like I'm trying to do whatever feels right for me at that point. And
Well, you got a lot of traction with I think Let Me Go. Didn't it get like 500,000 streams, half a million.
yeah, yeah.
That's a good
Yeah, so that was my thank you. That was my first song. Looking back, it's actually hard for me to play out loud. I know, so like the numbers say that like so many people like it. And I
Mhm.
love it because it was the first like step I took in my music journey. But it's
Mhm.
like I've grown so much since then, and I think people keep expecting me to make songs like that. And like I could, but I
Yeah,
like I can't force that. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
like
Love that.
I was at a certain point in my life when I wrote that, and I love
Yeah.
it for at that point. If something similar resurfaces in a year tomorrow, like I'm not, I can't control that. But it's hard to make music once you see one gets a lot of traction. You're like, but that's not who I am. I was 15, dude. Like I was young. Like I'm about to be 21. And so I find that I'm constantly comparing myself to my younger self because this song was popular, right? Why aren't my most recent songs showing those numbers? It's just a lot of internal kind of battles and thinking and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
How much of that do you think plays into like timing and luck too? Like how much of it is How much of it as an artist can we actually control by making a qualitative song? And how much of it is just like the times, like what's going on, or, you write a song about the Eagles when the Eagles are in the Super Bowl, obviously the song's going to get more traction.
It's definitely time and it could definitely be luck, but it's like for Let Me Go specifically, I didn't care about what people were thinking. Like I was new, right? I was just having fun. It wasn't I didn't know that I wanted it to be my full-time career at that point. It was during COVID. I was like, I'm bored. I don't want to go to class. We're going to write a song, put it out, and people loved it. I was promoting it like every day on TikTok, social media. I was active. And then as time went on, I was making music that I loved even more, but I was posting less because the creative process took so much time. And I didn't know how, like, I was scared of the judgment. And to some extent, I'm still like terrified of that shit. Cause like, you know what I mean? Like, I love making music and I will do it till the day I die, but I want people to hear it. And so I was just in a battle. And that's why, again, back to the other question you said before, like, if in a year you asked me how I know I was successful, in that sense, going back to my younger self and not being scared of being vulnerable and just like continuing to put myself out there, regardless of who's watching.
Well, how do you think your view of success changed over the years, right? Because I think whenever you start as an artist, it's just like blind optimism. Like when you're a kid and you want to be a musician, all you picture yourself is on a stage with millions of people. And then you become a grown up and you're like, all right, let's kind of taper that dream down to something a little bit more realistic, or not, or you still want to be that huge star. How's your success changed from like, say, when you were like 14, 15 to, 5, 6 years later?
It did the opposite. Like in the beginning, I was, and I am still I'm so optimistic. But I think I just had less expectations. Like I quite literally was solely having fun. Like I didn't have to worry about paying bills and paying for college and like, getting money and stuff. So I was just doing it to do it. I had the resources, love my parents. They gave me the space and opportunity to be able to do something that I really enjoyed without the pressure of adulthood. And it's like, as I'm getting older, the fact that in a sense, I have to grow up and find a job and get money is what makes it harder because the songs I put out, I think about the fact that they have to bring me money. And so they have to be good. They have to please my audience. And that's the part that I'm working on because I don't think all my music should be for other people. Like in the beginning, I do think it should be something that I love, not to, make money, or it is a passion, but that factor puts so much pressure on my process.
I mean, and that's the conundrum too, right? Because if it was a business, if it was literally any business that wasn't art, it would be easy. Like if I'm trying to make the best possible car I can make, all I do is find the car that everybody wants to make and just make something like that, But this is like, these are like reflections of ourself. So if the audience doesn't like the song, they don't like myself. And it like messes with you a little bit. You're like, oh, I want to be authentic. I want people to like me too. And it's like, it's like this perpetual tug of war,
Exactly. Exactly. That is a great way to put it.
Where do you see the future of music going? Just like generally speaking, like I feel like every time they kind of push a genre to the forefront, it felt like it was like country for a little while. Country's still real big, but now there's other like kind of like arena pop, which is getting kind of like big, these like big anthemic songs. Where do you see music headed in the next, like throughout this year? Like what next big genre you think to get pushed to the forefront?
You know what? Because I'm so anti-genre. Like I hate talking about it because I just think music should be music. I hope, like I'm a big rooter for the underdogs. I love when genres and artists that are just like underrated, like rise to the top. I love seeing that. So I don't even know if I have an answer for that. I just wish that more people were more open-minded and like listened more and didn't think about the popularity and like what comes with being like a huge artist. Like I just wish people and smaller artists got the chance to just like be heard. You know what I mean?
I agree. I mean, that's kind of one of the reasons I started doing the pod too. Like the minute I started like mining for guests, I got these like this like gold. I mean, people were making some of the most incredible music. And then I'm like, there's no way they're going to like return a message. And then I go on their Instagram and it's like 1,500 followers. And I'm like, oh, they're like a real person making this incredible music. I was like, how do they not have millions of albums out? Like it's, and then you start to see all this like incredible music. And I'm like, statistically speaking, a lot of this music's not going to get heard. It like breaks my heart. you know? So
It's sad. It's really.
let's hope we're the exception.
Let's do it. I'm so
Yeah,
down. Let's make
for
it
sure.
happen.
For sure. What is something that might have happened to you? Like you were saying, you're very optimistic. What is it? What is something that you always dreamed of when you were, just starting out that actually happened for you? You're something like, I always wanted to do this. And then you actually got to do it.
That's a good question. I don't think much about that. I think some really cool opportunity. Like, again, when I was 15, I was having, like, every day I went to sleep, I woke up and I had 10 more emails from like major label execs and like A&Rs in my email trying to meet and setting up meetings. I performed, here and there. I performed at So Far in Brooklyn for the first time. And I was like, this is really cool. Like that's pretty awesome. Not often am I able to celebrate my successes and kind of, I think, being where I am now, I think back often and I'm like, I did some cool stuff. Like that's pretty awesome.
What do you think is more important, right? Because obviously you see both sides of it. I think you're obviously naturally gifted doing all the things yourself, but then you also have that managerial mind and work ethic as well. What do you think is more important, talent or work ethic?
Dude, work ethic. I mean, I hate shitting on music. I love music. Like it is my passion. Like I love listening. I love making all of it. There are some songs out there that are not good to me. Again, music is so
Yeah,
subjective. There are some
yeah,
songs that I wouldn't ever, be like, "Hey Siri, like put on like whatever the heck it's called." But they're like millions and millions of streams. Like what is I'm trying to figure out that connection. Um and so I definitely say it's just like, yeah, showing up, being consistent. And so that work ethic part is the most important because anyone, I think, for the most part, your chances of being successful are easier or like greater if you just keep on showing up and be consistent.
I think consistency will trump talent more often than not. Like we all know there's artists, and I'm like, the music's all right, but like the room is always full, the streams are always high. And I'm like, it's good, but not that good. And then you look
Right.
at the work ethic and it's like, oh, they've been posting every day. They're the communication, the email list, they check like every single box. And now they're putting out mediocre music that everyone's listening to, you know?
And it's definitely tied to the fact that, like, again, like you said, like you just keep making good points. It's hard for me to not go back to him. You said something about how like an audience wants to be a part of an artist's journey. And that's like, I think, tied to it. It doesn't really matter if the music is super amazing in their minds. It's more of like, I'm a part of this community. I'm a fan of this audience. So I will be there, show up, support
Mhm.
them. I will be there for all their singles regardless. And I will, like, the most important thing, defend all their songs. Cause I know there's so many times where an artist puts out a song that's different and everyone else is like, what the heck is this? And a fan's like, no, like that's the best song I've ever heard. But it's like, come on, like
Yeah.
let's be real here.
Yeah.
Being a part of something in a community it trumps a lot. And that's why work ethic, as soon as you get those numbers, not even on like social media and stuff, as long as you have people in your room like listening to you, because social media and Spotify, those numbers don't really give the whole picture. If
Right.
you have people supporting you, they will tend to be there
Yeah.
for everything, like most things you do.
That's actually a really good point. It's almost like social media levels the playing field a little bit. People are always so down on social media, like I have to do all this stuff and I have to post so much, and all I want to do is play my guitar. But also, like you also don't have to be able to sing like Whitney Houston if you have like cool visuals and like and your story is cool and like there's literally nothing stopping you anymore from showing everybody every step of your journey along the way. You just have to have the muscle and hustle to post often and take pictures of it
For
and share
sure.
whatever you're doing, you know?
And the money too, because
Yes.
honestly, like
It's
right
important.
now, I'm getting whooped by that algorithm is killing me. Like the videos are there, but like if you're not paying Facebook or like Instagram for ads, like that reach isn't gonna come unless again like you be consistent. Like over time, the goal is that those numbers go up, but it's like for some people they don't.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's a
frustrating.
little, yeah.
So in terms of just writing, right? Like we talk about work ethic of posting, but in terms of just like writing, what do you think is more important, inspiration or discipline? Like, do you have to wait to be inspired by something happening to you to write? Or can you wake up and just be like, look, every Monday at 8 p.m., I'm going to write a song?
You know what? I think it's whichever is more consistent for each like individual artist. Like for me, I will never force myself to write anything. Like I can't. I don't believe in it for myself. There are some people who need to do that, but it's for me. I'm so inspired. Like I'm inspired so often that I don't
Right.
even feel the need to be like I have to write this at this time. I'm a big fan of observing. I look around when I'm doing everything, like when I'm on the subway, on the bus, like even just sitting here, I notice every single thing in life that it's hard for me not to be inspired because there's so much material around me.
Do you ever get worried like it's not going to be like that? Because right now you have music pouring out of you. You know what I mean? Like you said, like I remember being in seasons where it's like I could just write a song twice a day. You know, there's just I got so much going on. Do you ever worry like that's going to stop or whatever, or does that ever concern you?
Not at all. My life is so insane. I don't ever anticipate a life where I'm not like some crazy shit's not happening to me. So like my life is fucking crazy. And I love it for that reason that I'm able to like reflect to my music. Like it's funny as hell.
When you say my life is crazy, can you give me an example without sharing anything too personal? Like what's going on?
Well, I just came back from Rome. I went abroad for a couple months for school. Awesome, awesome experience. But it's like like every time I tell someone a story from something that happened in Rome, they're like, "There's no way that happened to you." But I'm like, it did, and like that's it seems unreal, but it's like it kind of adds that factor. Like, did this happen? Like
Yeah, like you get home, you're like, did I dream that or was that actual? Yeah,
literally,
yeah.
literally, that's exactly right.
Is there much of a music scene in Rome like that?
Thank you for asking. You know what? Like when I went there, I took a couple music classes for like my major and stuff. Um, and I spoke to so many like musicians or people who like wanted to make music, wanted to kind of go and like down that path. And their music scene is extremely private. So in comparison to like New York, it's hard to come up as an artist in general. Like you have to know someone, you have to be really fucking good to be in those rooms where you want to be. It's so hard. And I spoke to someone um and he told me that it's because everyone stays to themselves. I think once we foster this collaborative like community within music and kind of embrace that, we all succeed. But there's so many people who think that if they are on a path to success, they can't have anyone else with them because it's a competition. When I think that real music and real communities and genres succeed when artists come together and lift each other up. Like that is how that happens. And so in Rome, it's really small. There's a jazz club I went to in Trastevere called Alcazar, and I like luckily I got in communication like with the owner of the band that plays every Thursday, and I was set to play like drums with them. Like we were like tight. Like I'd go in with my friends on Thursdays and stuff. But apart from that, I'd never see this guy. And again, he was at this club every Thursday. But it's like I couldn't ask to go to their rehearsals or be in their studio sessions. Like I couldn't do that because it was like a foreigner, literally a foreigner coming into their music space. And that's not something that happens. And so I could have, but it was like, I gotta learn my time and I gotta learn my place, especially since I'm coming here for a couple months. I'm really here
Uh-huh.
to just like learn and observe.
Yeah.
Um, Even I wish there were more concerts. I really wanted to go to more concerts in Rome. There's not many, and if they are, they're super far away from where I was, or they're just like super underground, undercover, which is, it's interesting.
Wow. Yeah, you don't realize how lucky you have it. Like if an Italian wanted to come here and play some music, I'm sure it'd be pretty easy to come into New York or
Yeah.
Philadelphia and just play some music
Hmm.
with us. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's interesting. It's so interesting all you have going on. Tell me this. What is if you could say something to send a message to your 10-year-old self, right? This is a
Hmm.
couple of years before you even started music. What would you say to
Right.
that little girl? If you could send one message back in time.
Dang, that's a good question. I would say literally like keep going. And anything that I do, be consistent, show up, stay true to yourself. It's so hard to get lost in your morals and your ethics and your values in a society where everyone's constantly one changing, which is great. Like change is good. But people lack the open-mindedness to have important conversations and to learn. So I'd be like, don't let anyone influence your goals, your aspirations. Like keep going, just be true to yourself and you will reap the benefits in the future.
And which is like if you even if all you did was adhere to that all through those like formative teenage years, you would come out on the other side of that as such like a fully formed, balanced adult. But like, I mean, when you're a teenager, you're just getting pulled in like every other direction. And then
Yeah.
you're basically like, and then you become an adult who has to fix themselves before they can actually do something productive.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
yeah. I mean, you're so wise beyond your years, though. Tell me this: what is the single best way that we can support you? If we want to get behind you, we rock with you. We're down with the movement. What's the single best way we can come alongside you and support you?
Honestly, like this might sound extremely like generic. I think the most important thing, if you like what you hear, like give me a follow, give me a listen. I can't guarantee that you'll love it. I hope you do, right?
Mm.
Because again, music is like super subjective, but just, tell me that you are listening so that if I ever feel doubt, I will make sure that I keep going for the right reasons.
I love that answer. Victoria, you're an absolute gem. I hope you're wildly successful. I mean, for no other reason, just that you do a tour big enough to come to Philadelphia, so I could be in the front row with my hand raised, singing every word. I love your stuff, and I hope you keep going. Seriously, thank you.
Thank you so much, Julian, for having me. You'll be backstage, of course. Don't even worry about front row. You'll be with me in the VIP
I love
section.
that.
Don't even worry.
Ah,
Hell
I
yeah.
love all that. Hey, and the rest of you, make sure you go online, check out Victoria. You spell your name with the upside down, well, you spell your name with an exclamation point, right? Like V exclamation point, Victoria.
Yes, sir.
All right, so make sure you check her out on all streaming platforms. Go check out Wondering. Beautiful song. Check in with her. Let's run the numbers up on that new single, Wondering. And hey, everybody take care of yourselves. Thanks for checking out. And if you like what you heard here today, tell somebody who loves music.